So that's about the goals and objectives. And then in terms of the second step, in terms of identifying the scope, so it could be, all the servers that are essentially exposed to your external facing network, right? So what essentially it means is, if I am an outsider, if I can access your assets from an outside network, from internet, then definitely those all need to be included as part of this exercise. Whether it is the IP address of your server, or whether it's a web application that you're using, to provide some access and other things to your general users, then definitely they all need to be included as part of this exercise. And then also, primarily when it comes to this vulnerability assessment, the internal internal infrastructure is the scope for the vulnerability assessment. Say, could be your servers or the SQL Server database that you're running, and all your networking devices and stuff. The reason we kind of separate out the external versus the internal in this particular scope exercise is, the exposure within your internal network obviously is much higher. So you want to be able to identify all the vulnerabilities, and then you probably don't need to do a lot of testing to determine that these vulnerabilities could be exposed, right? It's all about how you want to fix it. And then when it comes to the external facing issues that you are going to be identifying, all those things, period, that needs to be fixed. And also the most important part of this exercise should be, identifying any out of bounds servers, or say, for example, if you are hosting anything on the cloud-based servers like AWS and Azure, most of these vendors, unless you get written authorization from them, they will not allow you to conduct this penetration testing. So all you need to figure out is, what are the things that are going to be in scope, what are the things that are going to be out of bounds, right? And also, it could be a different type of pen test. One of them could be primarily around your infrastructure, network, the firewall, and other stuff. And then also, some of the pen tests could also include the application security testing. It could be a web-facing applications, whether it is a static or dynamic type of testing. That's all include that you will have to determine whether you need to be including. Say, for example, if you are hosting your custom-made software on your on the web, and then if you're providing access to your customers something, then of course you need to be doing the entire code testing to make sure that your code is secure and people cannot exploit that. Or if you are hosting a third-party software, obviously the ownership is on with the vendor, so you need to make sure that your vendor has completed the basic VAPT testing for their applications, and you should be able to at least gather the high-level summary of that report. But then also, some of the pen test includes the physical, security of your premises, and where you have all this information assets as well. Right? It could be the small data center room that you have within your office, or it could be, additional other hardware that you maintain, on the customer data on. So those could be some of the things. And also the other type of testing that's becoming more popular now is social engineering. Now that we have our profile pretty much updated everywhere, whether it's LinkedIn or other social media channels. And also, of course, we are all exposed via email as well, right? So the social engineering part of the pen test will include all of those parts in terms of, how people could get access to your network using some of the social engineering and some of the patterns that you use, while creating username or password and other stuff. So again, you will have to essentially decide these, what type of, the pen test that you want to do, or all of them that are listed out here, right? So, and most of the time, it's a combination of manual and automated method is what, we use to do the pen test. There are a lot of nice tools out there, that will like identify the vulnerabilities in the system and stuff. At the same time, there is a lot of manual work involved as well in terms of navigating through these different vulnerabilities to figure out which one is exploitable, which one is not really an issue or risk.
For more information, click on the link below or visit databrackets.com.